sincerity or reliability, whether you want to go with the original Japanese or the dub. Either way, they are qualities that exemplify Joe Kido and the traits of his Digimon partner Gomamon, with its iconic attack, Marching Fishes. So as it is March, it's May, with its iconic Maying Fishes. Anyway, on today's video, we're going to be ranking the Crest of Reliability evolutions. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and yes, it is Crest ranking time once again, and with our boy Joe's Reliability. Now, yes, as I touched on in that intro, his crest is Sincerity in Japan, because Mimi's crest is Purity. I'm not quite sure why they flipped all these around, but oh well, it just makes it more confusing for us in the future.
I said, hold up, wait a minute. Something ain't right.
But I think either way you cut it, sincerity and reliability are all about kind of the sincere nature of Joe, that he wants to be relied on, and ultimately those traits don't really actually affect the traits of his partner or the Digimental evolutions, unfortunately. And my ranking once again is based on how good I think they are as kind of partners for Joe, and then in the armor side of things, if they keep up a consistent theme based on Gomamon's Digivolutions, and how well the armors work for the Digimon that they mainly Digivolve from. Without further ado, let's start with Plesiomon. Well, he's an odd looking duck. Interesting. It's definitely a net ocean Digimon, which really does work in its favour, and I think it does work nicely digivolving into Pukumon. It's really hard to care that much about a baby Digimon. B for baby once again. What's his name etymology mean? Pitchy Pitchy. Splashing in puddles. I love splashing in puddles. Then is Pukamon, or Bukamon as we knew it in the dub, and yeah, it's okay. The official art has this almost like soulless look to it, but if we actually go and look at how it looks in Adventure, it's definitely a lot cuter. Its appearance in Cross Wars as well, it looks very cute. I don't think it's one of my favorites though. I don't like it as much as Sunomon. I think I'm going to put it in B alongside Pitchmon, B for Bukamon, I guess. And there's the boy Gomamon. Joe's Gomamon, I always kind of liked. It was one of the ones that I preferred for some reason. I don't really know why. Maybe I was just like a little stinker of a boy, but I definitely preferred like Gomamon, Gabumon, Agumon, and Patamon over Gatomon, Palmon, and Biomon. Although I do like Biomon quite a lot. This does get difficult because we're talking about these rankings in terms of the adventure canon, so obviously Adventure 02, Adventure 2020, Try, things like that. But part of the reason I kind of love Gomamon is because of Gon from Digimon V-Tamer. I love how V-Tamer has these super cutesy designs. There's also a very cute design for the Gabumon in V-Tamer. But of course, Gon is not relevant to this ranking, but does kind of explain why I think Gomamon is one of my more favorite Digimon Adventure rookies now, maybe. But is he A tier? I really don't know. He's definitely not S tier. I wouldn't put him up at S tier, but he does do a great job at exemplifying what the Crest of Reliability or Sincerity would go on to mean in the greater adventure narrative. So I'm gonna put him at A. I want him to be like here. I keep doing this, but I wish I could put things like here, because that high up on A feels like, I'm gonna put him in A. Who cares? It's my opinion. Opinion is subjective. Okay, and then we've got Ikakumon. No. It's tough. I really like Ikakumon. I do. I've always liked its reference book listing too, because it says a marine animal Digimon that was discovered in the computer of an Arctic exploration base. And when I think of Arctic exploration bases, I think of The Thing. So I just like the idea of just an Ikakumon chilling on the computer where everyone's getting taken over by weird body clones. I think Ikakumon is one of the most standout sort of OG Digimon. I think people who aren't super familiar with Digimon probably remember Ikakumon, especially because of the way it like rises out of the ocean in the original OP. It's a really solid Digimon, man. And I think in many ways holds up, stands the test of time, because there aren't so many champions that look like it. I think I'm going to give Ikakumon an A. And if Gomamon was going to be sort of here, Ikakumon would be like here. It's a very high A, bordering on low S. I'm trying to be less aggressive with my S tiers. I need to really mean it. Then is Zudomon, and I kind of love Zudomon, but I don't love him in the kind of de facto Gomamon line anymore. Don't get me wrong. From Ikakumon he makes sense, and to Vikemon he makes sense, but transitioning between the two, he's a little weird. Ikakumon, big white fur. Vikemon, big white fur. Zudomon, orange fur, mostly naked with Archelomon's shell on him. Actually, in Digimon Adventure 2020, they compounded that connection between Zudomon and Arkelomon by having Arkelomon show up when Ikakumon became Zudomon. So yeah, I love Zudomon, but part of me is just a little bit disappointed that they gave him this orange fur. I think if he had white fur, maybe it would work better. If Vikemon was also orange furred, it would be fine. But I do love him and I do love his lore. I'm gonna give him an A alongside, like in between these two. I just kind of wish he was white furred. I don't know. Or Vikemon was orange furred. Anyway, speaking of Vikemon, so Vikemon very... Yeah, just drop your keyboard, Karn. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So Vikemon very clearly works as a Ikakumon, even Zudomon Mega for Gomamon, doubles down on all those ice themes, surviving the icy tundra. I really do adore it, and I know a lot of people prefer Plesiomon, but I think looking at the line overall, Plesiomon represents more of a Mega directly from Gomamon, but I think Vikemon just works so much better alongside Ikakumon and Zudomon, even if, again, I wish the Zudomon's transition was a little bit less weird. There's something about the ultimate stages or perfect stages in Digimon Adventure, which are a little bit goofy, which I kind of like, right? For example, Bergermon goes from like dominantly flying to then going on 2 legs for Garurumon to dominantly flying again as Phoenixmon. Garurumon goes from quadrupedal to Were-Garurumon, who is bipedal, and then back to quadrupedal for Metal Garurumon. So that does feel kind of on brand in some ways, but regardless, Vikemon is so solid. It's one of my absolute favorite adventure megas. When I think about potential Jogresses or fusions for the adventure megas, either like their own version of an Omnimon or an entirely new form, Vikemon's the one that always comes to mind first as one that I'd like to fold in because of his clubs and stuff. I'm gonna give him an S tier, and you have to agree with me. He's a really good mega. He does what he needs to do. He fits in great alongside Wargreymon, Metal Garurumon, etc. And then is Plesiomon. Plesiomon, for many years there, was kind of the default or alternate Gomamon Mega. Shoutouts to our friends at Wikimon. You can see it digivolve from Zudomon in the Pocket Digimon World games, Digimon World 2, Digimon Tamer's Brave Tamer, Digimon Crusaders. In the original blue structure deck for Digimon card game, it's even Gomamon's Mega over Vikemon, so I definitely don't think it has been replaced by Vikemon, but Vikemon definitely feels like a more intentional Mega. But like I say, you can see a lot of Gomamon in Plesiomon. What it makes me wish is that we had a more sort of sea creature furless line for Gomamon. Throw in like kind of like a Lapras looking Digimon in there somewhere. I think even like Seadramons would have worked quite well. I don't know, it just feels like it would be nice to have a full through line from Gomamon. And while it digivolving from Zudomon does work, I think especially if you consider Vikemon being like Zudomon getting its hair back and Plesiomon being Zudomon completely casting off its fur and its shell, I guess. It definitely works, and I think there is still visual matches to Ikakumon too. I've just never been super fond of it. It's not as good to me as Vikemon, and I know people are going to disagree with that. For me, I much prefer Vikemon. Plesiomon's going to go alongside its little boy at A. As I said, I would love it if Plesiomon got a full line from Gomamon, more kind of like Plesiosaur based and not mammalian. I also think it would be really cool if we could have given Gomamon a new alternate mega in Digimon Adventure 2020. I've talked about this in other videos, but like Agumon and Gabumon both got alternative megas, Palmon and Patamon both got alternative like armor champions ostensibly, and the rest of the cast didn't, and that was kind of a shame. And I've always really wanted to see what a third potential aquatic mega for Gomamon could be.
What about me, dude?
Whoa! A shark on a surfboard? You'd be a great Gomamon mega!
Sure am, dude. I'm Surfshark. I'm not surprised you don't know me, because I barely had any appearances in Digimon media you were able to consume, little bro.
Dang, I'd love to be able to check out Digimon media from outside my country. Is there any way you can help me, Surfshark? Oh, don't boo me, that was an excellent pun and you know it. And an even better segue to introduce today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
Surf's up, dude! Surfshark VPN is a virtual private network, letting you use their programs, apps, and browser extensions to access websites that are geo-locked in your part of the world. Radical!
Yeah, I for one would love to be able to stream more Digimon shows, but the UK is just entirely too limited for options, with no streaming service anywhere as far as I know in the UK having dubbed seasons. We don't have Hulu in the UK, but all I have to do is set my location to the USA, and bam, suddenly Hulu thinks I'm browsing from the US. It works for all sites too, like for example Tubi. Not available in the UK? Surfshark will take care of that. And now I can watch Digimon Adventure Try. Yeah, well, maybe I can watch something else actually.
That's right, Brosif. And Surfshark doesn't just let you access geo-locked websites, it's also a safety tool. With the world opening up and travel becoming more and more possible, Surfshark will help you keep safe as you travel the globe, or to your local cafe, even on unknown public networks. That's when a VPN helps. It encrypts your online data and keeps you safe on public Wi-Fi.
And of course, if I'm getting sponsored, you're getting a kickback. So if you use my code Karn EX with the link in the description, you can get 83% off Surfshark VPN, as well as an additional 3 months completely free. And Surfshark has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't think it's a good fit for you, you're not finding enough uses for it, get a refund, no problemo. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this aquatic video, and let's get back to those rankings. Okay, and over to the armor Digimon. Submarimon I think is an absolutely excellent reliability armor. You can actually see a ton of Plesiomon in this design, but also of course Gomamon, and then the fins of Armadillomon being a little bit reminiscent of Ikakumon and Zudomon, that drill horn as well also helping that connection. I also really like that while Gomamon and its evolutions tended to help Joe cross water on top of the water, either the marching fishes or Gomamon and its evolutions itself, I like that Submarimon lets Cody descend into the water, turning Submarimon, while inspired by the Digiegg of Reliability, into a different mode of aquatic transport. I just think that's really cool. I would go so far as to say I think I might prefer Submarimon to Digimon. Is that true? I don't know. I think it might be. It looks like Armadillomon. It's a really... It's going in S. S is Submarimon. I'm sorry, it's happening. It's happening. I love it so much. Do I prefer it to Digimon? Guess we'll have to find out when I do knowledge rankings, huh? If they both get S, that's fine. Then is Archelomon in Speak of the Devil, right? I love that they use this as a reliability armor because Archelomon itself becomes the armor for Zudomon. It's almost like a grandfather paradox, where a Digimon uses the Digiegg of Reliability to become Archelomon, and then theoretically that Archelomon can use its data to make the shell for Zudomon, who inspired the Digiegg of Reliability. It's an Ouroboros. It's also a Wormmon armor Digivolution, which I think makes a ton of sense, it being green, and does feel kind of in line with some other Wormmon armors, notably Quetzalmon actually, both having these kind of like hair tufts. So I guess that is almost part of the Wormmon armors. How interesting. It does kind of look like it's got the body of Armadillomon here, but more importantly, it's got these two big green antenna things, which, yeah, so does Wormmon. So pretty happy with this as a Wormmon armor. Visually not one of my favorites, but still a pretty cool armor Digimon. So we're gonna, just for those lore connections, I'm gonna put it in A. I'm gonna put it next to Zudomon. Alright, sue me. Then is Manta-Raymon, who is Patamon with the Digiegg of Reliability, and it's definitely not a bad pick. Manta-Ray being an aquatic animal, makes sense. I can kind of see how this comes from Patamon. You can definitely make the argument that these two things here are his ears. It's perfectly serviceable, but just a little bit boring, maybe. The reference book says it looks like an offensive speed type Digimon, but on the contrary, it's actually a Digimon with a calm disposition that elegantly swims in the vast net ocean, which kind of ties into the hope and holiness of Patamon, I guess. I think the main problem with the Digiegg of Reliability is that while they're all pretty consistent, they're also kind of samey. Something I didn't actually touch on in Archelomon also is that they don't look like the Digimental, and that is just something I think we have to accept at this point. I would like to rank more on resemblance to the Digimental, but it doesn't seem to be something Digimon cares about, though if it does happen like with Submarimon, it will be a bonus factor. Anyway, Manta-Raymon is certainly serviceable. I can see how it comes from Patamon, but it's a high B. It's a high B. But it's a B. Tylomon is Gatomon with the Digiegg of Reliability, and I can see visual links between Tylomon and Gatomon, I guess. Make an argument, you know, the tail, I'm kind of stretching here, the marks on the claws, but Manta-Raymon and Tylomon do feel complementary, which is, oh dear. Tylomon is based on the Tylosaur, which is like an ancient creature. It's a mosasaur. You can get more information on Google if you want. It's definitely not bad, man. I like that connection for the two of them. It definitely, you know, swims underwater. It's got that going for it. Jet plane of the deep. Any other Gatomon Evos planes? No. Oh man, that is so tough. Oh man, it's so tough to decide now. Those two being almost like a matching pair. Okay, compromise. Manta-Raymon's gonna go low A, Tylemon's gonna go low A. Just because they're Patamon and Gatomon. I like there's a connection there. They're both very visually similar. God damn it. You got me. You got me, Digi-Egg of Reliability. Okay, anyway. Then we've got Orcamon, and in my video where I gave everyone an alternate armor champion in Digimon Adventure 2020, I casually said that orcas, like whales, are warm-blooded. People got in it with me about whether a warm-blooded creature would be better than a cold-blooded creature in a hot spring. My logic was I'm warm-blooded and I would last quite well in a hot spring, but my cold-blooded gecko would probably die. But people, I guess, thought differently. Also, orca whale is a thing. Like, I know it's probably technically a dolphin, right? But like orca whale. The orca or killer whale is a toothed whale belonging to the oceanic dolphin family. Never said it wasn't, but like orca whale is a thing. Anyway. We actually saw Orcamon in Digimon Ghost Game digivolving from Hawkmon, and I can definitely see some visual similarities. Hawkmon's wings turning into the kind of flippers, this thing on its head being very similar to Hawkmon's feather. It's a decent Hawkmon armor evolution. It doesn't feel particularly armored, and yeah, none of these do, unfortunately. Apart from Depthmon and Submarimon. Wonder which ones are going to get better rankings. I do like it. I kind of like that its armor is its life ring and its lifesaver jacket. It also has the crest emblazoned on it, which is a nice touch. It would be wrong of me to give these two an A. I'm going to put Orcamon in A. I'm going to move these back down to B. They're not armored enough. They're definitely not. Tylemon kinda is. Okay. Changing up a lot today. Tylemon's going low A. Manta-Raymon's going high B. And that leaves us with Depthmon. Why has this been like the hardest one for me? At least no one's ended up in C, D, or F, right? Vmon always does very well for armor digivolutions. Flamedramon and Ragemon, of course. Sethmon's a great love evolution. Yashimon's a really good sincerity evo. Honeybeemon works great for knowledge. And yeah, Depthmon doesn't buck that trend. It is definitely armored. You can definitely see how Vmon becomes it. Similar earpieces, claws going on. You know, it all works very well, and it is incredibly armored. It definitely looks like an armor form. It doesn't take necessarily directly from the Digi-Egg of Reliability, but it is close enough in my book. It again specializes in underwater activities like Submarimon, although Submarimon is a submarine, and I guess Depthmon is more like a depth charge or a diver, maybe? Yeah, it's able to dive into parts of the deep sea even further than fellow aquatic beastman Hangyomon, aka Divermon, so it can dive deeper than Divermon. It's just so solid. Again, Vmon always does so well for these. Yeah, Depthmon gets an S. Simple as that. Well, there they are, my rankings for the Digi-Egg of Reliability Evos. A lot less Digimon this time around, and that's going to kind of be consistent going forward because we do not have the wide variety we have in Tai and Matt's lines, but a still pretty solid collection of Digimon. And yeah, I guess, really like the Digi-Egg of Reliability because there's none here that I would put below a B. This tier maker is, of course, in the description down below, so do your own rankings, let me know how they fall, and either tell me your rankings in the comments down below after leaving a like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Or send me a screenshot of your rankings on Twitter at Karn_EX. Let me know which Digimental or Crest you would like to see me rank the evolutions of next. Thank you to my Sovereign ZDK14, as well as my Digidestined Amarank 2000, Gekaluchi, Koltaku, Kenya Kubiaki, Knight 12, Kya Jaeger, Rural Lima, NVBBX, Dresden Nova, Metallic Pool, Triple D, Reese Williams, Sad Uncle Callum, and Crimson Dragon Slayer, and all the other names you can see on screen right now for supporting this channel with their hard-earned money. You can also make a one-off donation now with a super thanks if you like this video, so I guess do that if you want, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.